Welcome everyone, I am Jervy, and I'm here going to be talking about Kyle's Minecraft Survivor Season 6, the Lesotho Highlands. So, I used to do podcasts like back in the day, but that kind of failed. And like, I guess this is my first ever podcast doing it alone. So, I'm just going to be like rambling all about like Season 6. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. And you know what, if you want me to do this for maybe even Season 5, which I like the review there, so hopefully, like, if you guys do want that you know, I can like work on it. Well, so the season ended around 4 days ago, and you know what? Like, I had a lot of feelings towards the season. Like, there were a lot of positives, there were a lot of negatives, and I will talk about those negatives like quite a while, especially like part of the cast and maybe even like casting direction. Find a lot of the people who were in there to be a little bit more villainous than, neutral or heroic or maybe even an anti-hero. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So let's start off with the cast of Newbies. You know, there are people that I remember or like I know that are like in the community, but my genuine surprise even in season 5 is that Kyle finds these new people, especially like in season 6. I had no clue who Landslide or Chase were, Bazar, Sir Tusks, like I had no clue who they are. Like, I still don't know who they are. I mean, watching the series now, I know like who they are, how they speak, how they talk, and everything. But I don't know. I find it generally surprising that I find new people inside of like a series or even in a community. I don't know, it's just a little bit of a surprise. But then you have people like Sooner who like has been part of the community for a while. Then you have Hannah who, you know what, like I know her but like not even that much. And then you also have people like Corkaker, which, he's famous for Chris Minecraft Survivor Season 7. Especially the yelling part. But you know what, like there are people who I know. I know Timo and I know like Neptune. Like they are really small in the community still. I feel like, but yet like I do know them. I knew how, and I know like how their gameplay is. By the way, this podcast is going to be recorded in one take. I will not be like cutting anything out unless I really like have to. So if I get like out of breath because I'm talking too much, it's gonna happen as well. Also, it's really dark outside. The power went out, and like I'm recording this like at 12 a.m. It's literally 12 a.m. right now. So sorry for me rambling on about that. But yes, I mean the cast seems solid, but like looking at it, like part of it, found people to be more villainous than anything. Like Caker, like he's mean towards people, and then like Sooner, especially like with his confessionals inside of the season so far. Hi, kitty. um, he doesn't seem off as like the most positive guy. Maybe because again his girlfriend broke up with him, but some of the comments that he did I didn't like. And even Hannah, I found her to be like a really like anti-hero. Like at the beginning, she was like super like I hated her in the beginning of the season. She yelled at Bazar for like Bazar trying to save himself, and then like I don't know. I just didn't find her attitude to be like really like positive throughout the whole season. Although I did have a kick on her like when it came to merge. Like she is one of the funniest contestants I have ever like seen in Kyle Survivor history, and that comes off a lot because there are some funny people inside of the seasons. But yet again, I don't know. She's more of an anti-hero for me, and again with the whole season, there's more like villains, like even with people that I didn't know, like Chase and Landslide, there were confessionals where they were just like downgrading on people, and I don't know, I didn't find that okay. But then let's go to our next topic. We have the returnees, which it was a twist all by itself. Oh my god, kitty, can you stop? So yeah, sorry. When it came to like the returnees, like we all know who they are. It's Echo and Jakal, which is like it's their fourth season playing together in like two series, like two different series with Chris and Kyle's. It's like, come on, like maybe switch it up. I mean, they are both iconic, and like we all love those two like together. But you know, I kind of expected it, but I also like kind of felt shock when season 6 didn't air and like we didn't know who the returnees was. I went over to Jakal and I'm like, hey, I have a feeling that you are definitely going to be one of the returnees. And I think at some point I even said Echoes, but don't count me on that. I probably didn't. I didn't really like see Echo as like a returning player, but you know what? Like it happens, and I feel like what Kyle tried to do was trying to cast a hero and a villain, and like Echo would be the hero and then Jakal would be the villain. I don't know. It didn't work out. Jakal didn't really play like the most villainous game in like this season. He definitely played the most villainous game in season 4, but you know, that was years ago. That was like 3 years ago. When it comes to Echo, like season 3, let's be honest, it was the biggest flop inside of like Kyle's Minecraft Survivor history. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle my cat and my phone at the same time. Um but yeah, um, like Echo couldn't really like show himself as much as like maybe you could have, because season 3 again it had 3 quitters or like only like 5 tropic consoles or something. So yeah. Um, Next up we're gonna go about the twist. So the first twist, of course, was the returning players, which was Echo and Jakal. I mean, I'm fine with it. I like it. Like, I don't mind it at all. And it was part of the game. Like, we all knew that there was going to be returnees. Like, Kyle even, like, specifically said that there were probably going to be returnees for, like, the post-split from the pre-split. If you guys don't understand the pre-split and the post-split, season 4 and below is the pre-split because that was years ago, and then the post-split is season 5 to going on. So yeah, another twist that happened was at the end of episode 1, we got to hear of Redemption Island, or in this case, Voice Haven, which means that everyone had a chance of coming back into the game by dueling other contestants, which, you know, like, I like that. I wish I had it in my season. I would have definitely gone further than my placement than I got, but you know what? I'm happy that it wasn't this season. I think it was very necessary, and it basically boosted up the cast to 16, but like 2 ghost castaways were the people who returned um, from Void's Haven. And inside of Void's Haven, there was also the Vindicator key, or Key of Vindicator, which, you know, that basically if you choose to get a disadvantage inside of the challenge, you get this key and it could give you an idol for an extended amount of time depending on how many keys you have. In the first Void's Haven, we did not get that because the person who returned in the game did not get a disadvantage from the challenge. But the second one we did, and that's how I got, you know, the conclusion that like the person would get an idol. Let me take a breather. Jesus Christ. Let me just sit down. Let me relax. Another twist. Let's see. Scanning. Um, there was. I think those were really the twist. That was really it. I mean, if I miss a twist, hopefully I can just like come back to it later. And if not, then you know what? I'm just a noob and I don't like follow the series as well. Yeah, call me a bad follower. Call me a non-fan now. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the season as a whole and some certain episodes. Like episode 1, it was pretty cool. Like I thought, you know, it was a good like entrance for the season. The challenge was good. It introduced fuck. It introduced us to most of the cast, and it also like gave us a chance to like see where everyone is at. What I specifically noticed was, of course, Sooner's like really like negative attitude in like episode 1. We also saw that Korkager really wanted to create a cult already, and it's like, really? Like, do we really need a cult again? Like after season like 7 of Chris, I didn't find it like new or anything. Like we already knew that Korkager would definitely do that. We also saw Echo say like he doesn't really trust them. There was the alliance of Jakal, Sooner, Hannah, and I think if I remember, shoot, I don't remember who the last person was, but there was definitely one more person in there. And then like season like episode one was definitely like great. It introduced everything, and then I don't know. What am I saying? Season episode two was definitely like a really down point of like the whole season. Like I don't know. Like when episode two came out, I felt like I didn't really want to watch it. If like the whole cast was going to be like that. If you don't know what happened, like just make sure to like watch that again. But Sooner and Hannah were against Bazzer, and Bazzer like was trying to get one of them out, and then it like ruptured to a huge fight at Tribal Council. Like a really huge fight at Tribal Council. I didn't like any of it. It was so mean. It was like calling names. It was really like ninth grade, like school days. And like, I don't know, I just don't like how everyone was like fighting against each other. Like I could already see that if the cast was going to continue like this, that's gonna be like a really toxic season. And I don't know, like that episode really like pushed it down for me. I think in episode three what happened was Corey Kager and Echo started fighting. Oh yeah, I do want to like say on that, like Corey Kager like starts like putting people in private chats even though they were not going to tribal council. That just generally confused me. Once you're safe from like tribal council and everything, everyone should be in the main chat. Everyone should be bonding. Everyone should be asking questions about like, hey, how is it going in your life? Oh, hey, like, do you have a pets? Like, socialize with people. Like, talk to people and like make sure you remember things that people say. It's part of the social game. You can't just like start strategizing for no reason other than you just want to. And like even with episode one, I saw that like Corey Kager just put four people inside of a chat and just like get other people like away. Like he pushed people away, and that's not okay. Like that you should not do that as a survivor player. And like it kept going until like episode four, and it's like I find it ridiculous. Like I actually like really find it ridiculous. But in episode three, like Echo and Corey Kager like washed their like aired their dirty laundry, um, and then a tribe swap happened. Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, there were two tribe swaps this season. That's part of the twist part. Two tribe swaps in the season, which I like it. It makes sure that like it won't happen as a prolonging, and I don't know. I thought it was cool, but yeah, again, back to Corey Kager. He starts prematurely just like talking with everyone, and I don't know. I just find it really strange. And Echo, looking like the hero he is and everything, like he he just like fought Corey Kager. I think on one hand, like it was deserved. He definitely should have done that, and like I was happy when like Echo like flashback. He's like, I don't like this. I'm like done with this bull crap. And so like just I don't know. I feel like that whole part it still confuses me. Like I still think about it sometimes. I'm like, you're supposed to socialize with people. You're supposed to be there with people. Ask them like how their day was. Like what have you done yesterday, or like maybe even like, hey, give me some childhood memories that you had, and remember those parts. Like every time I'm in the survivor, I always try to keep people inside of a chat and make the mood of the whole camp just be like really positive tones. Everyone likes each other, and it helps because like when it does happen like a tribe swap or like you go to merge, you want the numbers on your side. You can't just like idle people out and like just force people out of your comfort zone. Not comfort zone, but you know what I mean. Then after that, the rest of the pre-merge wasn't really that like interesting. Sorry to say so, but it wasn't. We do come out as people going to Void's Haven and they talk, and I'll say that like the Void's Haven segments, like they were the most boring part. Like most of the time, even in my reviews, I'm like skip, 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 and you can see it in them. Like the first thing you see is Void's Haven, then below skip. There was one Void's Haven that I really want to see, but I'll go like in there like after. But yeah, we go over to the merge episode, and that was a doozy, dude. Like that really was a doozy. Everyone like got into. No, actually, I think what first happened was Void's Haven, and I gotta say that like Coco, like he almost made it back, and like I don't know, Coco was definitely a character. He thought he was the villain, but he's kind of like a play along villain. You know what I mean? Like he tries to be a villain, but he doesn't get there. He's more like a cute type of guy. Like he like those characters in like anime TV shows where they're like, I'm going to be the villain and I'm going to like hurt you and everything and I'm going to like ruin the world. Like they're cute. It's almost like Coco. Like no disrespect, but it was literally just like that. And like practice on your laugh, please. If you come back, thank you. um, but yeah, he almost came back, but it ended up being Timo, who also got voted out right before the merge, but came back and, he got to the merge, which he should be proud of. But then we do come over to the merge feast, where everyone just talks with each other and, like, says what they do, even though, like, probably every one of them have, like, intermingled with each other. Maybe, like, one on one, like, they haven't met each other, like, one or two people haven't done that, I guess. And then someone talks about that there was either a clue or an idol in the middle of the table, and it was true. Someone had it. I do not recall who it was, but I believe it was. Shoot, if I have to guess, no, yeah, I know who it was. It was Neptune. Neptune had it, and so he found the idol, I believe. But yeah, after that episode, like Timo won. No, it was Landslide who won immunity, and then I don't know. Like I was really on edge that episode. I was like, who's gonna go home? I really hope it's not Jakal. I really hope it's not Echo. I really hope that it is Korkager. And then when Tribal Council came and Korkager like had to leave, I'm like, oh yes, this feels amazing. Like for me it was satisfying. Like the whole time I didn't like Korkager in the pre-merge, especially with like the shenanigans that he did. And then when Kyle announced Void's Haven the second time, and I'm like, oh no, Korkager is like definitely going to like still be there for at least 2 episodes. I don't know. It like kind of punched me like hard. But on the other side, I like Void's Haven. I like Redemption Island. I'm like not one of those people who like don't like Redemption Island, because I do. Even though like Redemption Island and South Pacific are not the best seasons, I like the twist and the idea of Redemption Island. But yeah, seeing that Korkager would come back and could come back, not would come back, is definitely like the bad idea in my mind. So I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Coming on to the next episode, we have the auction. And Kyle, if you're listening to this podcast, please bring back the auction every single season. We love the auction. At least I love the auction, and I'm your biggest fan. Okay, that might be not true, but you know what I mean. Coming down to it, the auction definitely like brings a new flair into the game, and I'm so sad that like Survivor doesn't have the auction anymore. They do have like fire tokens and everything, but I digress. The auction is definitely like a breath of fresh air. It's like a reward challenge. It's like everyone has fun. Everyone like pokes at each other, and there's also a chance to go to Voice Haven and be like with Korkager for like 24 hours. Whew. Ooh, I feel bad for you, Landslide. I really do feel bad for you. However, it was probably short. It was probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. But yeah, another thing about the auction is it does give out advantages, and it makes it changes the game in a big way. Like Chase, he has an extra vote. Landslide, he can talk to Korkager and maybe even gain his vote at the end. And then we have like Echo, who has a hidden immunity idol clue, and then we have Sooner, who bought himself out of the auction, which was funny as hell. I actually like I laughed my ass off when that happened, because like we know that could happen, but I wasn't expecting it to be like in this season. And then Jakal, he bought a dead bush. I don't know what he's gonna do with the dead bush, but he had a dead bush. And then yeah, Neptune, if I remember, he had Hannah. Another funny part in that, like, this is why I find Hannah to be like a comedic relief inside of the season. Once she got the immunity challenge advantage, where she could practice the immunity challenge, and she says that she's gonna be trash at it, and actually executes of being trash at the immunity challenge. I just found that to be like comedic gold. I found that gold, because she says the whole time, no, I can't do this, no, I can't do this, and she ends up not like being able to do it. On one hand, I feel bad for her because she basically wasted an advantage, but on the other hand, like, I'm happy that we have these type of moments. Next up, we have, I think one of the episodes that really has stuck out to me was the um, the episode before the finale, where we had two vote outs and we had like two episodes in one. Like, oh no, hold up! Before I go there, two episodes earlier, we had Neptune going home with an idol in his pocket, and I'm like, really, dude? Like an idol in your pocket? How dumb can you be? I mean, and rocks. Like that episode had rocks. I don't know. For me, like Kyle, you have a rock problem. Can we stop having rock problems? I mean, they do end up like making like entertaining moments. You know, like Asher, he got robbed. Gamer, he got robbed for a second time, and then like now even Neptune, he got robbed with an idol in his pocket. Like you can't get more iconic in a series. Like I can't wait for like season 8 or season 9 to be like Gibraltar, like the biggest rock in the world. See, are you willing to go to rocks every single tribal council? If not, then don't play the game. It's just like the whole twist of the season is you have to play rocks every single time. It's random if you go home or not. I don't know. I mean, Neptune on one side, you should have just played the idol. Like on one hand, like even if you didn't get votes, like you would have been safe from the rocks. Or you should have even flipped at that point. If you flipped against like sooner, then like you could have gone. No, it was wait. Neptune voted Echo. Yeah, Neptune voted Echo because Chase and Landslide voted with Echo to vote out sooner. So you should have just switched your vote to Echo, and then you would have still been safe, and you would have also like had the biggest target in the game like gone, like out, and that's Echo. When it comes down to it, it was an iconic moment. Getting like rocked out with an idol in your pocket, like you can definitely see Neptune coming back and like his first confession is like, "I had an idol in my pocket and I got rocked out." Like that. That is iconic already. Already, it's iconic. But yeah, continuing that episode, Neptune lost. Void's duel against Corkair. Okay, it's fine, I guess. And then we go over to Echo. Echo was blindsided by both Landslide and Chase, and they really like made it in a really mean spiritual way, which at that point I didn't like them, but I didn't like solidify as like I didn't like them. But I didn't like how they were like being really cocky and it's like, oh, we were never really with him. Which, let's be honest, like Echo had them like both wrapped around his finger. Like it was inevitable that like they were probably going to try to flip on him. I don't know if it was the right time, but it was a time, I guess, and Jakal decided to like not use his idol on Echo, which I do have to say I did miss this. And I will miss a lot of things in podcasts. It's my first podcast ever, so don't like trash me for that. But another iconic moment inside of the season was Echo had the idol clue from the auction, and Jakal just like snatched it on him. Jakal should have just had his professional as the professional snatcher because that's what he is. Like, can you believe it? Echo has a hidden immunity idol clue. He just starts digging, and Jakal like finds it in like 5 seconds. I mean, that's just funny. It's great. But yeah, Jakal has his idol, and he didn't play the idol on um Echo because he should have he thinks he needs it for later, which spoiler alert, he does. Um and yeah, um when Echo got out, I have to go back to Chase and Landslide. They were really mean about it, and I don't know. I didn't like them as characters after that. So that means that I was really like, when it came to duo, I was going for Sooner and Hannah. Which Sooner at this rate, like I didn't hate him. I didn't like him either, but he was funny with some confessionals. So I can't like really be that mean with him. I mean, I already established that in episode 3, once he talked about like his girlfriend leaving him again and like having this mood change because of that. That like I can't really like bash him for that. Like if he really loved this girl and like this girl like keeps like pushing him away, like it's not okay. Like I'm not going to like bash him for it. But yeah, going down to it, like my favorite three are like at that rate was Jakal, Hannah, and Sooner. Like they're pretty odd for themselves, but like they were really like the front runners of like the whole season at this point. But yeah, going down to it, I feel like the okay, I'm going back to the episode before the finale. I found that episode to be really revealing and actually like I had the most fun writing my review on that one. Um the first part of the episode was, it was pretty obvious. I was happy that like Jakal won immunity, and then Chase got home, and I'm like, you know what, Chase, like I kind of saw that one coming because Jakal, Hannah, and Sooner like they're still in alliance, and like Timo, like he was he was there, like he really was there. Another part about Timo is that like he's a compist, and he has like the record of like most individual immunity wins, but that's not really that impressive, at least for me, because winning immunity challenges in order to save your butt, it's not like what I am searching for as a survivor winner. So coming down to it, I kind of felt like he definitely had no chance of winning the game, even if he came back from Void's duel like a second time. But yeah, Chase got home. And Echo was out before that. Corkaker also beat Echo. Now we go on to our final duel. And that was the most intense final duel I have ever seen in my life. Like, I swear the strategy between Corkager and like Chase, Corkager is like, hey, by the way, like I'm going to like allow you to come back. You can go take like the disadvantage and everything, and then try to win the whole thing. It's like that like it's scummy, but on the other hand, it was smart. But then Chase, out of nowhere, a millisecond, a fraction of a second, a fraction of a kilosecond, I don't even know if that exists, but he made it out like that small. It was so quick. And Chase won the duel, which really surprised me because he did have a disadvantage and he wasn't that solid at first. But he came back with the extra vote he still had from the auction, and he had the hidden immunity. He has a hidden immunity idol only for a use of the next tribal council. And I swear to God, he turned zero to hero in one episode, like in 5 seconds. When it came down to it, he thought that he was going to go home again, which there was like a tie. It was like a split vote, but it ended up being that he also got Timo to vote with him. He played the hidden immunity idol. He played the extra vote, and he got one of his biggest threats out of the game, which was also one of the front runners in the game, and that was Sooner. And I swear to God, my mind was blown that episode. I was like, God damn. Like Chase definitely went from like someone who I didn't see the whole season to like almost all the way on top. But yeah, now it comes down to the finale. Like in the finale, like on one side it was boring, but on the other side it was also entertaining to watch. I was like watching, I was like on the edge of my seat looking at like the finale. But when it came down to it, Timo won the first immunity with the finale, and then people are vying for his votes. Landslide and Chase on one side, and then Jakal and Hannah on the other side. Timo knows that Jakal and Hannah have the bigger chance of winning the game, and so when it came down to it, he sided with Jakal and Hannah. I'm like, how stupid can you be? Like, you a fool, boy. Like, you're a definite fool for that. But it didn't matter. Like, Jakal played his idol on himself, which he still had from Echo's, like, idol clue and everything. He was safe regardless. And then, Landslide got home, which, like, Landslide, he was really under the radar. Even in the finale, he kind of knew that like he wasn't going to win the season, which it was kind of like a sad segment. But on the other hand, we all knew it was the truth. Not trying to be mean here, but he didn't really play the best game or strategical game, or he wasn't the loudest. And in Survivor, you definitely have to be the loudest in order to win. You also need to make sure that like you make the moves, you solidify the moves, and you get alliances on your side. But he was very quiet in the season, and on one hand, I can understand 17 hours. That's a long time to be in the game, so you can get tired. Coming down into the final four, that immunity challenge, it was great. Like, I swear to God, Hannah almost won that. And again, the most intense part is a millisecond, a billion milliseconds. Timo won by saying done. I swear to God, I saw Hannah placing the block first, but Timo said done before Hannah, which means Timo won immunity. I don't know. I mean, Hannah could have definitely won that immunity, and if she did, that would have been her first immunity win, and that could have solidified her as well in the game, which means that she could have like put fire making challenge on Jakal and Timo, which at that rate, like she is getting one of the bigger threats out anyway. But Timo won, and then this is the last twist that I actually did. I was like remembering, but now I remember there is a forced fire making challenge in the final four, which everyone knows this from like Real Survivor from season 35 going on still. And so coming down to it, I like the twist in one order, but on the other hand, it's like it feels forced. It really does feel forced, and I don't know. I didn't fully like it, and it's not my favorite. I do have a strategy for it, and I set it inside of my review. If you guys do want to see me explaining it to you in a like video format, I will like actually do like I will explain how to speed run fire making challenge in Kyle's Minecraft Survivor, because there is a strategy to it. Um, but coming down to it, Timo won and saved Hannah. I mean, I wouldn't save Hannah because Hannah, like, I know that like if I would be there, I know she's a front runner, and like I know that she could potentially win, and then I would not be okay with that. But Chase, like, I kind of see him partially able to win, but I don't see like the jury actually seeing him as a winner like type of guy. So coming down to it, it's Chase versus Jakal. And I'm like rooting for Jakal. I'm like, Jakal, you can do this. Jakal, you can win this. Like, you all know I love Jakal, and I really wanted Jakal to win the season. But Chase's luck on, like, I think one gravel, he got the flint, and he won the fire making challenge. I was devastated for Jakal. I can't imagine how Jakal would feel to like win, like to lose that fire making challenge after going so long and playing a solid game the whole season. I mean, poor guy, dude. Like, actually, like, poor guy. Like, he should have definitely like won. But you know what? You don't always get what you want. But we all know that like Jakal and Echo are definitely like coming back for another season, whether it be All Stars or an All Legends or whatever, maybe even like champions versus contenders, where the champions are people who have had successful games and the contenders are people who like, you know, oh, could have had a chance of having a like champion type of game, but they couldn't. Wink, wink. Maybe no. Okay, it's just an idea. But regardless, it comes down to Hannah, Chase, and Timo into the final three. Like, Timo, he won. Like, he has a record of like most immunity challenges, and like, yeah, kudos to you, but for me, that's not impressive. If I would be on a jury, I would have definitely not voted for Timo for that. Chase, he played way too late. He definitely played super late. And then Hannah, like, hands down, we all knew that Hannah was going to win if it was like between those three, and Hannah did win. So Hannah, like, has like played the best game of the final three, and she deserved to win. Congratulations on being the first female winner to ever win Kyle's Minecraft Survivor. You deserve it. And like, on Hannah's game, on one side, I do see her as an anti-hero. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. But she was mean at first, but she also, like, at the end of the day, talked with everyone. She socialized with everyone. She even reeled in people who needed it, aka Timo. And at the end of the day, she only had one rogue vote against her. If it wasn't for that rogue vote, and she would have been in the final three, and like maybe even got all the votes, she would have had a perfect game. That's like impressive for someone who's like trash, but trash at challenges. And like her strategy game, like it's mediocre. I like it. It was good. It worked for her. But I don't like if it would have been like that alone, if they would have like looked at that, I don't think she would have won. But regardless, she did have a good like social and strategical game going on with her, but she would have definitely not won against Jakal or Sooner. And I think that was really like her original plan of going into. She would have definitely not won. It would have definitely been either Jakal or Sooner. But you know what? She's a deserving winner, and you know what? Like I still applaud to her of like winning that season. Like coming into the season, I didn't think of her to be like the biggest threat to win the game, but it ended up being like that. And it doesn't help that she's like one of the funniest like contestants in season 6, like especially with the minecart, like doing the same mistake twice. Like not even a donkey hits like the same rock over and over again, like it doesn't work like that, but she did that. And like I don't know. I laughed my ass off like every time like she had like these moments, and I'm calling these like Hannah's, like Henny's, like those type of stuff. But yeah, I like Hannah as a winner, and you know what? Congratulations on being inside of the winner circle. Season as a whole, like if I would give it a rating, I would definitely go for like an 8 out of 10. Like I would have done a 10 out of 10 if like the cast wasn't so negative, and maybe some of the episodes were like not only focused on challenges and like a little bit of strategy. I think that's what Voice Haven really did the worst inside of the season, and that is taking away talking time for the contestants, or at least showing us like what the contestants are like talking about. And I'm not like blaming Kyle for this. Like Voice Haven, again, it is a good twist, but it did take time, especially in the challenge part. But when there wasn't the challenge part, we had more time with the contestants, like them talking about themselves, talking about what camp life, their strategy, and like even tribal councils, what happened last night, everything. It was cool. And again, I think the only episode that I really didn't like was episode 2. I hated that episode, and I like coming down to it. If I would like rewatch the season, I'll skip that one. Um, but yeah, in conclusion, I definitely say that the season was a success. If it came down to it, I do feel like season 5 takes the cake for me. I love season 5. Season 5 was a great season. Season 6 is definitely like right up his heel. And in the future, I would definitely watch it back. And I would even like look at my reviews, what I've said, and maybe even like post a comment below if like I change my minds, like maybe I don't know, like a year later or like 2 years later. But yeah, it was a very enjoyable season, and I am really excited to watch season 7, which is like the promo is coming out like this weekend, which it's great. I can't wait. And I can't wait to do a review, can't wait to see who's on the cast. I can't wait to like see the strategy going into it, and I can't wait to see the twists. Like for me, a Survivor season is also partially a part of the twist. And if the twists are good, the season could definitely be good. But I am excited. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of like drama, but not in a mean-spirited way, but more in a like fun type of way, poking at you. Only game, not personal. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy my review. And if you do not, if you've been like going on this podcast without even knowing what series I'm talking about, first of all, what are you doing? Like the link in the description, the first link is a playlist of season 6. Go watch it. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But yeah, seriously, hopefully you did enjoy the podcast. Maybe even like and subscribe for it. If you guys do want me to do a podcast about season 5, maybe even season 4, 3, 2, 1, then please do so. Like tell me. I'm willing to do it. I don't mind. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Goodbye.